And one secret tip maybe that I can give to the students, which not a lot of people know, and it really helps in at least getting an interview, is they got around 600 applicants in a period of 3 days. They filtered this 600 applications to 70 applications in not exactly the last, but somewhere in the very last. They just mentioned a line which said that interesting candidates, please send your...
All right. My CV will be scanned only for hardly 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, then in the first glance itself, I should make something really attractive. Why should I elevate? Why should I give extra aesthetic impressions to with my CV when I have written everything what I have done? Is it really difficult to find internships? So Vibhore, thank you very much for coming to my podcast. Let us start the podcast with a small question. Can you tell me when did you come to Germany and why?
Sure. So first of all, my pleasure. It's always great, to collaborate with you and spread information to the potential people who also want to come to Germany. I came to Germany in 2019 on 28th of March. So I still remember that date, about to complete 5 years in about 1 month.
Oh.
And I came here basically for my master's in general management.
So before that, you did your bachelor's in India.
Yeah, I did my bachelor's in aerospace engineering from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Dehradun.
Okay. Why did you choose general management in the first place?
It's a story, a funny story, to be honest. So I was doing this bachelor's in aerospace engineering, and it was going good till around 6 semesters. I was liking what I was doing because I was, passionate about that thing.
What is aerospace engineering?
Aerospace engineering.
Can you tell a little bit about that? So what actually you learned there?
Yeah, definitely. So aerospace engineering, as you can see, right, two words combined together. One is aero and one is space. So we had different subjects which were not only dealing with aeroplanes, so which is the aero part of aerospace, but also with space, satellite, orbits and everything. So when combined together, it comes out to be aerospace engineering. And like some of the subjects that we were studying were aircraft maintenance, overhauling, then propulsion, aerodynamics, and orbital mechanics. So a good combination of aero and space was then together combined to be this course. And
so this is BTech we call, or Bachelor's of Science?
It was BTech for 4 years. Yeah,
Bachelor of Technology.
exactly.
So but that was really interesting, right?
It was really fascinating. I mean, since I was a child, I always aimed or dreamed to be an astronaut, but that was a bit out of scope. So the closest to that was aerospace engineering, and that was, because of my fascination, I chose this branch. And it was, as I said, for the first 6 months, really fascinating. We were learning new concepts. We were always coming up with, new subjects, which amazed me as how this industry basically works. Up until the 7th semester, when I got introduced to a completely different field, we can say, which was compulsory for us to take, and that was sales and marketing.
Oh,
I was not in favor of doing that because, passionate of doing something about aerospace engineering, and then coming a compulsory subject of sales and marketing, I was like, okay, I'll just do it because we need to pass this subject. It was really important for the curriculum. That was the time when I fell in love with that. As you say that, right? You fell in love with unexpected things. That's what exactly happened with me. And that was a point of time where I found out that going deep into aerospace engineering is not exactly what I want to do. And there are also manifold reasons inside of that. One thing is engineering is something which is very monotonous in my opinion. And, like doing a job as an engineer is something which allows you to do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, some people love that, but I had a different mindset onto that after, getting into the sales and marketing topic that I don't want to do anything monotonous. I want to explore new things always, do interesting things always.
But sales is not boring.
No, not at all.
What exactly fascinated you in sales and marketing? That subject.
I'll tell you a brief story also behind that. So, in my till my first 2 years in engineering, I used to be a big time introvert. So didn't used to talk with a lot of people, be on my own self, do things alone and stuff like that. And when this sales and marketing topic came, so we had to do a small project in sales in which we had to talk with people, talk with other students in the university, and take out some information for them for a particular imaginary product that we ourselves created. And that was the time when I thought that, okay, it's been now 3 years in the university. I have come from an introvert background to a middle point, and now I have to talk to strangers in the university and take out information from them. And that struck me that, okay, this is the time where I can go from my introvert background to maybe an extrovert background, and I can talk with people, I can get to know more about them, about the product, and it can help me develop as a person. And that's where I found out that sales is something which is not boring, because you have to deal with people. You have to tell them same things again and again, but in a different way, because you don't know how a person will take a particular idea or a particular strategy. So I wouldn't say sales is boring. I would say that you have to be creative in selling people new things, and I do that. In fact, in the last semester, I used to hear one thing from my friends a lot. I take that as a compliment. They say to me that you can sell a snow to an Eskimo. So this was, a compliment for me, and it told me that, okay, this is something in which you can specialize in and you can go deep into. And that's how I had this shift into journal management from engineering.
Yeah, that shows us how, like, sometimes we think this is my interesting subject or fascinating, I love this, but until you really meet some other subject, yeah, so it actually keep changes, right? So we don't have to fix on anything, and you also don't have to feel guilty because you left something, and then there's nothing like that. It's like going forward, accumulating skills. Right?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I'm a big believer of this fact that till a person is 35, 40 years of age, they should not be inside a bubble. So they should be open to explore new things. They should be open to try out things that might not work in their favor, but definitely they will learn something from it. And this is what I did. And to be very honest, I'm really proud of that decision that I took in my 7th semester. And it was a hard decision to take, but
why it's hard?
It was hard because I didn't have any idea about sales and marketing, like what exactly a salesperson do. I didn't know about that. As I told, it was a compulsory subject. I just took it because I had to take it. Shifting from engineering to what a sales guy does, it's a huge difference, and that is why it was a difficult decision that, okay, I have spent my 3 years in one particular field. Even before that, I did engineering preparation. So I've spent my 5 to 6 years in a particular field. And because of one subject, in a click, you change your whole field. So in that ways, it was a tough decision for me to take, but glad that I took it, and I'm more than happy about what I'm currently doing.
So what did you do to get into this course at that time, after this 7th or 8th semester? How did you find a college here or a university?
Yeah, definitely. So when I took that course, after some time, I got to know that there are some more clubs in the university, who give this entrepreneurship, sales, and marketing activities that, perform these events in the college. So first of all, I got connected with them in order to know, okay, what exactly does a business person do? What do they study? How do they get on in this field in the future? And from there, then I got to know about the opportunities that lie in abroad, specifically in the business field. I always had this mind to not stay in India and do something good outside, explore new things. As I told, I'm a fan of that. And USA was my goal or the go-to country, you can say, where I had to go. Unfortunately, that changed for good, and I am in Germany currently. And there's again a small story behind that, and it's when I was in my sixth semester, so we again had to do a compulsory internship, which I did in Maruti Suzuki Limited, and there I used to have some free time on weekends where we didn't had to do much for the company and we could utilize it for our activities. Then I thought that why not learn something in that time and just not waste it. And then I started learning German as a foreign language from one private tutor in my hometown itself. It was a spontaneous decision. Like, if you ask me, how did I land up on German? Nothing. It was just a spontaneous decision. Maybe can be because there was a German Shepherd dog living just across my house, and I'm a pet lover. So that pet lover.
Yeah.
So that was something that just struck my mind, and I started learning the A1 language, which made me fell in love with Germany basically. So I got to know more about the culture, I got to know more about the language, about the people, the quality of education at very less cost compared to USA. And then I started researching about various institutes here in Germany and how can I pursue this as a career field. And that's how I landed up at one of the courses, that is Masters in Journal Management from PFH Goettingen. The curriculum that they provide in different subjects was something that excited me quite a lot, and I thought that okay, this is something that excites me, which will allow me to do new things and not monotonous things. And I thought, why not give it a try and see where does this take me.
Okay. So then you applied.
Yeah, then I applied for the university. They took written tests, then they took a couple of interviews based on judging where exactly do I come from in terms of my technical background, how can I utilize that in the management course, and the requirements and everything they made me very clear. And it came out that I had to do kind of a bridging course, you can say, so that it would help me coming from a technical background to integrate into the management background. And 6 months was that period where I did this bridging course. It helped me, gain some basic understanding about the management field.
But that course that you had in seventh semester didn't serve as a bridge course?
It served as a course which made me interested in that field. But, like if you want to study management, it's not just sales and marketing. So people have this myth, in my opinion, that business is sales and marketing. No, business is way more broader subject, in my opinion. And that was a starting point for me, but this bridging course was something that made me come into the business field and made me learn that okay, these are now the opportunities which lie in front of me.
So this bridge course helped you to go forward, or
you can say it's a manifold situation. So there were a couple of subjects which made me very clear that okay, this is where I don't want to go. For example, accounting was a subject which I never did, obviously coming from an engineering background.
but that was in a bridge course.
That was in the bridging course, yeah. And it made me understand that okay, this is something that is in management field. But when I took that course, I cleared that with good marks. But I was clear while studying that course that this is something I don't want to do. But other things like sales and marketing, e-business, entrepreneurship, business development, organizational development, these are some of the courses that I did in the business development bridging course. And they made me understand that okay, this is the way forward where I can go, and these are the way which I want to keep aside and not go deep into.
Interesting. So what's your favorite subject now? Sales, marketing, or?
I'll say I'm in love with consulting. And it's a very common saying that everybody says about consultants, that we are masters of none but jack of all. So you can say that that the favorite subject for me is solving problems. That is what I love to do. I love new challenges, and that's what consultants do. We don't need to know everything. Clients come to us with a specific problem. Maybe we have no idea about that, but it's our duty to first have a background research about that, to know what exactly that is, and then offer them solutions for that.
Or send them to the right person and somehow help them to solve the problem. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the main goal.
Yep. So, consulting, in my opinion, is a different subject altogether, which is not taught in business schools, but you learn that. And at the very end, you can treat it as a whole new subject. And to answer your question, my favorite subject then will be consulting.
So consultation is not there as a subject.
Consultation or consulting, you can see it as a category under which then comes different aspects, right? So if you're consulting a company, let's say for example a company wants to come from USA and wanna land its foot in Germany, so you will consult the company. Now you can consult the company in various departments, right? You can consult them in sales, you can consult them in marketing, you can consult them in regulations, you can consult them in stakeholder management, XYZ. There are n number of possibilities in which you can consult these companies.
Okay, I got the point. So when did you get into this subject, consulting?
In February 2022 was my.
You are exactly telling me the dates.
It's nice, like, because I'm so in love with these things, what I do, that I remember these dates very thoroughly. And February 2022 was my actual entry into consulting, but this journey started way back in October 2020, when I got introduced to EFORS, and that was
Q3 Labs was that time.
at that time it was Q3 Labs, exactly. And I got introduced to Giri Prakash, who was sitting in front of me, and that was a time when I got to hear this idea. And
At that time, I was searching for team members.
exactly, you were searching for team members, and consulting is something which was a part of that job. Building a startup is again consulting your own self. And that was a time when I fell in love with consulting. Then I joined Q3 Labs at that time and did various tasks in business field with you, with other members of the team. And I liked what I do, and that's why I officially then entered into consulting in February 2022.
Yeah. Those were the days I was learning business model canvas, different business models, sales, marketing, team building, writing business plan, and everything. Yeah. Exactly. So we learned a lot together.
Yeah, I mean, if I literally go back to that time, so those 1.5, 2 years were the time when I learned the most, I will say. Like, it's true what people say, that in universities you learn the theoretical stuff, but when you apply that in the real world, it's completely different. Because then you come up with challenges, then you come up with new possibilities, and you have to make a decision where you have to go. And it was a great time learning.
We also faced failures, because I think we almost spent 1 year to really filter down a business plan, an application to the exit stipendium, but we didn't get it.
But that was a learning which helped us then to get the new stipendium, the embarked stipendium. So I mean, failures, as you tell, right? Failures are something that people should not be afraid of. They make you learn new things. They make you fearless, in my opinion.
So then you joined PFH Goettingen. And then you finished your master's in general management.
In 2021 March, I finished.
And everything went well, smooth?
Everything was super smooth. Not only the professor, but also the support staff, for example, were quite helpful in, understanding our requirements, telling us what exactly can be done in terms of academics, as well as in terms of job search and, the areas in which we can look for jobs. So they were quite helpful. The stipulated time for completing the masters, it's 2 years, and luckily I completed it in 2 years. Yeah, so everything went good. Learned many new things, and now applying all those things in my current job as well.
Okay. And what are the things that have changed now in PFH compared to when you joined?
A lot of things. For example, the bridging course that I earlier mentioned about, was something that they just introduced in 2019, and I was the first student for that. Yeah, so you can imagine, yeah, if a new product is coming into the company, it's not super finished, the fine tuning is not there. So I was the one who joined that course, the very first student for that. And if you see that now, it has evolved immensely. I mean, I can really myself see the difference, because now I'm also teaching that course. So another story behind
Now you are teaching in that same university that you studied your master's in general management.
in the same university I'm teaching, and the same course for which I was the first student, I'm teaching that. Yeah. But yeah, again, coming back to what has changed, not only that, many new courses now have been introduced into the system, like UI, UX management. MBA is now being introduced in the university as well. So not only, not only the quantity, the quality of material is also drastically changed and improved very much.
So MBA is different from general management.
Yeah, so MBA is a 2-year course, and Masters in General Management is normally a 1.5-year course. But because I was coming from a technical background and having a shift to a management background, it was important for me to do this 6 months of bridging course, and that's why my complete course was for 2 years. But the amount of credits I got was 120, which is similar to what an MBA student gets.
I mean, not in terms of credits, but in terms of subject. What is MBA and what is general management?
The difference in terms of subjects is not so vast. So for MBA, you basically need to have maybe a couple of years of experience in the industry before you join that course, because then you know how exactly the system works in an industry. For general management, you don't preferably need an industry experience, and you can directly come into the course and learn those things, and then apply those in the industry or the corporate afterwards. So that's the high level difference between general management and MBA. After having a certain amount of experience and then doing an MBA, you can directly land up as a manager in a corporate. But having studied general management and then gaining experience, so you won't be able to directly go on a managerial level, but you will be on the path towards that.
Hi. The motto of this channel, Wisdom Vibes, especially the podcast part, is not only to bring extraordinary people and expose their achievements, but also to expose the extraordinary qualities in ordinary people. Because we believe that podcasts are the best way to instantly pass the information from the previous generation to the upcoming generation. To become successful in our mission to reach our podcasts to many people around the world, we need your subscription. So please subscribe and share the values by sharing the videos. Thank you very much.
So can you tell a bit about your experiences while you studied general management with internships, part-time jobs that you have done? Let's start with part-time jobs. So what are the part-time jobs that you have done?
So I basically started my part-time job somewhere in May or June 2019. I worked as a cook in a restaurant.
Chef.
Yeah, as a chef in a restaurant, in a Mexican restaurant to be very precise. And that was something which I didn't like in the very starting, I didn't like to cook and stuff, but we need to do something for a living. And Göttingen being a small city, there are not a lot of industries in which you can get into,
But we have plenty of restaurants.
Plenty of restaurants, yeah. And when I came to Germany, also obviously there was no corona in 2019, so many companies were not offering remote jobs, remote part-time jobs in the industry. So it was one thing that I had to take care about my expenses. And on the other hand, what I really wanted was to be in a German speaking culture. And the restaurant that I worked for, although it was a Mexican restaurant, everybody working there was German. So we were, I guess, a staff of 12 to 14 people. Out of that, only 2 were Indians and rest everybody was German. And this thing not only helped me earn good money, which I could use to carry out my expenses, but also helped me in improving my German immensely. I mean, I used to get scolded by my head chef in German, and I used to get also praised by him in German. So, you can see the two different sides of the story, and you can then easily get to know, okay, you can not only learn vocabulary, you can not only be fluent, but also you can get to know, okay, what is the tone in which the guy is speaking with me. So it helped me immensely, and I am very grateful for that part-time job that I did.
What did you cook?
A lot of things. So my favorite was burritos, and I cooked burgers, French fries, jalapeno bites, rice, and whatnot. Everything that you get in a Mexican restaurant, we always.
So initially you were trained.
Yeah, so we were trained. We had a training period of 15 to 20 days in which we get to know the processes, how to do the things, how to prepare the plates, and not serve to the guest, because that is something that waiter does. Okay. But the presentation in the plate, how to make it better and stuff, we were trained for that, and we were also open to pitch in our ideas. And if something needs improvement, then we pitched up the ideas, and many a times they were also accepted. So it's not that people think that it was a cooking job. No, it helped me also increase my creativity in.
You liked it later?
Yeah, for many reasons. As I told you, one was German. It helped me improve my language. The other thing was food. A big time foodie would always love to work in a restaurant, and we get free meals the day we were working. So it was good. And apart from that, the culture was really good. Everybody was helpful. To be honest, I never faced any racism here in the last 5 years. So totally good team, nice people, working with them, integrating with them, sometimes partying with them. So it made me have fun in addition to earning some money.
So after talking to many students, what I understand is working as a part-time, like doing part-time jobs are really important to get a new perspective of the life. You have the opportunity to see in different lifestyles, different persons, different people, different kind of jobs.
Yeah, definitely, totally.
I would really suggest everyone must do that.
Totally agree with that. I mean, if you are living in a different country, maintaining your expenses is one thing, but integrating into their culture is something that is really beneficial, and part-time jobs is something that will really help you do that. And it's very important in my opinion to get an exposure of these things as well, because if you don't face hardships in your life, you won't value the things that you receive later. Yes. And that was a period in which, I worked really hard. Working in a restaurant is not easy. On weekends, we used to serve 500 people on Friday and 500 people on Saturdays. Oh. So hectic job, but it helped me understand, okay, how to work under pressure, how to deliver under pressure. Although the industry was completely different, but these things get into your mindset, they get into your habit, and then you can incorporate them in various aspects of your life.
Wow. That's a good message. I like it.
Yeah.
And what are the other part-time jobs?
Many of my friends used to do delivery jobs, so food delivery jobs, and that was also something that requires a lot of hardships. And it was snowing, it was -5 degrees Celsius, and my friends were delivering food. Sometimes I ordered and they came to deliver. So that was something that a lot of people also do. Then there are many, you can nowadays also go into corporates, because Corona was a bad time for everybody, but one thing that it did for everybody was work from home. And now a lot of companies allow you to work from home and do part-time jobs, and it's a great opportunity for students to search for these companies online and just receive jobs and earn money, and also gain experience in their field in which they want to go in the future. Other than that, there are many other options like warehouse jobs. There are many warehouses, logistic warehouses where you can work as logistic manager, supply chain manager, and you can have a look at processes, how exactly these work, and it can be really helpful if someone wants to go in that particular field in the future. So a lot of diverse options available. It totally depends on your priorities. It depends on what you like. It depends on what you get. So in life, it never happens. Like mostly, it never happens. What you plan is what happens. So it's different things. So be open for different things. Be open to try new things. Be open to face hardships. It will help you come out like a diamond, and be grateful for what you are.
Good. I think you also taught German sometime.
Yeah, I did that. So first of all, I learned German here, as I told, right? In India, I did around 2 levels, so A1 and A2. Then I came to Göttingen, and in the first 7 to 8 months, I did from A2 till B2, and I became fluent in German. And then the Corona time hit. Our restaurant got closed, so there was no part-time job for me, and I had to manage my expenses. And the most important or the most big gap that I saw was people coming here, they struggle to find even a part-time job because they can't speak German. And because I already learned till a level in which I was fluent, I thought, why not carry this forward and teach students, which will help them, find jobs here and also integrate into the culture. And that's when I kind of founded this Lamplight classes where
I remember that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I used to give then online classes to a lot of students from India, China, USA, Zimbabwe, so different countries. I used to make batches, fix out a time for these classes, and give them then online lessons for level up to B1.
Teaching is also best way to learn, right?
It's in my genes. My father is a principal, mother is a teacher. My whole family is in the teaching background, so it's in my genes. I love to do that, and it helped me not only distribute my knowledge to them but also learn new things. And every time I gave lessons, there was every time something popped up which I thought that it is useful for me to take as a takeaway, and it helped me also make my language even more fine-tuned, we can say. Yeah.
That I agree. Even my family, we have a lot of teachers. So that's the reason why I started, I hold the mic and started.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. When I see the students I taught coming from international background to Germany, and I'm still in contact with many of them, and when I see them speak German, it's so heartwarming that they say that, okay, you taught us A1 and A2 and you made a good base for us, and now we can leverage that, and in the companies we are speaking German. So it's always good to see these measurable outcomes and students thanking you for what you delivered to them.
Yeah. Great. And now let's talk about your internships. Did you do any internship?
Many. I did many internship. I started with my first internship as soon as I joined the university. So in April 2019, there was an incubator at our university and was a small startup who was looking for people in business development space. And I joined there as an intern. The position name was entrepreneur in residence, and I was mainly responsible, for market research, for business development, to generate the business model and also get the company ways to grow forward. That was my first internship that I did for a long period, around 1.5 years. After that, I did a couple more internship in digital marketing space. One of them was a compulsory internship that we had to do from the university itself, as in it was as a subject. I did that as well. So around 3 to 4 internships in total I did in a period of 2 years.
Wow.
It's really important. I mean, as a working professional, now I can say that the companies in Germany, they really focus on internships. As in your CV, they look for this thing: how many internships have you done, what exactly have you done in the internship. So that is a really good starting point for students to open their career path in Germany.
Is it really difficult to find internships?
uh, it's not a cakewalk, but it's not difficult. You need to be hardworking, you need to be confident in your skills, you need to know what you want to do. If you don't know in which area do you want to go on in the future, then it's very difficult to find a correct internship in which you will fit good, right? And especially in today's times, like online work from home has made the life so easy for people to get internships globally. And also, if even if you are in Germany in a different city, you can easily find internships via a lot of online platforms, Stepstone, LinkedIn, Indeed, and so on.
But I think, but your previous preparation with your German language might have helped you.
It was the basis for
Yeah.
my internship. Yeah, definitely. As I also did A1 and A2 from India, it helped me to look for jobs, to integrate into the society, to talk to people, and which eventually helped me in landing in a good internship, then landing at a good job. That was a very base requirement that the companies have. And even if the company don't have that, like, you need a German language to integrate into the culture. I mean, I used to do weird things to get better at language. Restaurant was obviously one thing which was not weird. Weird was that I am a technology freak, so I love gadgets, electronics. And there's a shop here in Göttingen, Saturn. Yeah, it's overall, but it was very near to my house.
Now it's not there.
Now it's not there, it's closed. But when I was studying and Corona was not there, luckily it was present. Every Saturday it was my routine to go there, look at stuff, talk with the employees of Saturn in German, asking about a particular gadget. And it helped me to, learn new vocabulary, to be fluent. I used to make mistakes. The employees tried to shift in English. I said, no, I want to continue in German. And yeah, these things, these small things, if you just bring together, it will help you in the future. And this is something that the universities cannot bring in a student by enforcing these conditions.
How to hang out with German speaking people? Was it difficult for you?
In the starting, I would say yes, because it's a culture thing. Yeah, if you don't approach German people, it can be a bit tough to get along. Once you approach them, there is no going back. Then I have some German friends. I mean, if I call them even at the middle of the night, they will be up for me and they will help me if I'm in need of help. The reason for that is a two-way street. So if you just expect to get something from somebody, it won't be like that. So if you are getting value from somebody, you also have to make sure that you are also providing value on the other hand, and it will be a mutual connection. But yeah, you need to start the conversation with them. You need to start making a bond with them. Once you start that, you are on a good track and you can make a lot of German friends.
Most of the time I observe, like, Indians, students especially, they love to hang out with themselves.
True.
Would that be a disadvantage a bit?
For sure. So I was very lucky that I got this advice before coming to Germany, that try not to hang out a lot with Indians.
Not at all, but yeah, you
no,
balance.
yeah.
You can.
Yeah, so not at all. No, I didn't get advice like not at all, but try to engage in different cultures and international students. And there is a reason for that. The reason for that is I have lived 25 years of my life in India, surrounded by Indian people, surrounded by Indian mindset, and I have learned a lot from them. You can still learn a lot from Indian people, but if you are coming to a country abroad, it's very important that you explore new things and you get to know about new culture as well. I have a lot of Indian friends. on whom I can trust blindly who are in Germany. But I always try to, as you mentioned, right, maintain a balance between two, because many people I have seen that they only hang out with Indians, or Germans only hanging out with Germans, Spanish people only hanging out with Spanish people. I always try to break this barrier, and I try to, get a hold of different cultures, because it helped me be a different man altogether. I mean, when I compare myself as a 18-year-old Vibhore and now a 28-year-old Vibhore, it's a 300-400% difference. And the majority of that difference, I would say, came from interacting with different culture, getting to know how do they think, getting to know what is their priority, what exactly are they willing to do in the future. This different mindset, if you arrange your mindset in combination with different nationalities, then you will grow immensely.
That's again very good message. Great. So and then you did a lot of internships and part-time jobs, and finally you got your degree. And then the first challenge is to find a not stable, but at least your favorite job. So how did it go?
In the starting, it was a roller coaster ride, I can say, but some things made it easier for me. As I mentioned about Q3 Labs, E4, so that was a starting point for me in the corporate market, I can say, and learning how exactly things work, what does a company do if you are trying to build a startup from the scratch. And learning by doing is something which is the best teacher, in my opinion. And when I was with the Q3 Labs for around 2 years, I learned and I got very clear in my mind where do I need to head. And consulting was the thing that I landed upon. I applied for many different jobs in consulting in different industries. Industry was never a limitation for me. In India, I worked in automobile industry, and I also did an internship in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, so aerospace industry. And in Germany, as I told, right, internships, I did it in different fields, digital marketing, then E4 or Q3 Labs was something in healthcare, life sciences. And I landed up then with Digital Oxygen, which was also working in a healthcare field. And consulting in healthcare field was then the perfect combination for me. So yeah, and that is where I chose to go with them, even though I had a couple more offers from different companies.
So digital oxygen.
Yeah, Digital Oxygen GmbH. I worked as a management consultant with them, still working with them since about 2 years now. So February 2022 till today. And yeah, it was obviously it was not easy to find a job. It was not difficult also, because I was very clear in my mind that what I need to do. If I would not have been clear in my mind, I would have applied for thousands of things and then might be landed up with nothing. But because I knew that this is a path I need to follow, I was applying for jobs those were in that particular area. And I gave some interviews. I got calls from 2 to 3 companies who were ready to give me offer. And Digital Oxygen was the one in which I thought that my personality matches very much with the company's culture. And the services that they were offering to the clients was something which I really liked, solving new problems every day, especially in the healthcare industry, because I was coming from that background with Q3 Labs. I then finally said yes to them and started my journey with them then in February 2022. We were at the very starting working in, as I told, healthcare mainly. We also had projects in telecom industry, in crypto industry, and in the startup industry. and we were consulting the companies who maybe want to come from outside of Germany and want to land up their foot in the German market with different digital products. We were mainly focused on digitalization. We helped a lot of companies, in various due diligence projects.
To launch their digital products here.
Yeah, like there were different projects that we did in these industries. For example, one of them was market entry. So helping them come from international country to Germany. The healthcare market in Germany is very simple if looked from outside, but if you go inside, it's a complex branch. And we were the experts of that branch. So we analyzed for those particular companies that out of these 12 different ways, which is the best way that you can place your product in the German market. So that was one part that we used to do. Then we used to do due diligence projects, merger and acquisition projects, in which a company wants to buy the other company, or acquire, merge with other companies. And we used to then carry out due diligence to find out should they actually do it or not, what is the performance of the companies and all. And we helped a lot of companies who are already in Germany to improve their sales performance. We helped a lot of companies, make distribution strategies in which they can increase their sales. We helped companies in generating launch plans. We did a lot of quantitative and qualitative analysis. Did a lot of interviews with patients, with doctors, in order to find a good product market fit for different companies. So we were in different branches. And these 2 years of my life again were something that helped me grow a lot professionally. I learned many new things, many new methods that one can use in the consulting field. And again, one of the best teams I worked with till now.
That's interesting. When you applied to the digital oxygen, right? Can you share the experiences of how you applied and the process of getting interviewed?
Yeah, definitely. So when I was finding jobs in 2021, many people told me
You started applying from the last semester or after finishing your. What is the best option to do that?
Obviously the best option is to start applying when you are in your thesis phase. A lot of companies, they help the students get this transition, so from thesis to internship and then landing at a full-time job, or sometimes even directly from thesis to a full-time job. But many students don't opt that option, and they want to do their thesis under a certain professor because of maybe interesting topic, good connections with professor XYZ. Both are good options, but the advantage that for the people who do thesis at a particular company is they have this option of directly getting hired into the company. But even for the students who do thesis under a certain professor, my suggestion would be to start applying in the last semester itself when they are writing their thesis, because it will then save them a particular time, and you can call it a buffer time before they get into the industry. My case was a bit different. I really used to love what I was doing with you at Q3 Labs. So I sticked with you for around 1.5 years, and we tried to build something really fascinating. And after that period, then I started applying for jobs in 2021 December, which, to be very honest, is not a good time to start finding a job, because 15 December till 31st December, not much thing happens because of the Christmas break. But yeah, I got a huge number of suggestions from different people. How should I apply? Where should I apply? Which is the best platform or not? It totally depends. My answer would be it depends on the company who is posting the jobs. It depends on you for what you are looking. So there are different platforms in Germany, where you can look for these jobs. For example, LinkedIn is the most widely used out there in Germany. Xing is it's the LinkedIn for Germany. People say that, and a lot of companies are active on Xing as well. Stepstone is one where a lot of people find a lot of good jobs. Indeed.com is something which you can use to figure out the different opportunities.
Do you know Job Vector?
No, I'm not acquainted with that. Okay, Job Vector. Yeah, so we have another one, Job Vector. And also, interestingly, there are some local website as well. Like Stellenwork is something that is very big in Göttingen, especially not only for part-time jobs but also for full-time jobs. So that is one thing that people can look for. So yeah, it depends. Many companies won't be on Zinc but will be on Stepstone, as in
Also, Agentur for Arbeit.
Agentur für Arbeit.
You can look for jobs there.
Definitely. Once you are done with your degree, then you can go to them and say that, hey, these are my qualifications. I know German, which is a very plus point, and I'm looking for jobs in this particular field. And very nicely they will, treat you. They will tell you the options in which you can go find the jobs. They themselves have connections with a lot of company who post on their portal about job, and they make you match with these companies. So again, one good example of finding a job. Me, it was really important, as I told, consulting was something I fell in love with, and I saw that on LinkedIn there were a lot of different consulting opportunities in the consulting companies who had their job vacancies. So that platform for me was the one that I really focused on. And one thing that I can proudly say I did was making an Excel sheet for the companies that I am applying. So I had, different columns in that, like companies that I applied for, position that I applied for, who was the responsible person whom I had a talk with, or, who was responsible for that job advertisement. What is the current status? Did I hear from them or not? So red, green, yellow, I had these different markers in which just by seeing I can easily look, okay, this is something visual in front of me. And one secret tip maybe that I can give to the students, which not a lot of people know, and it really helps in at least getting an interview, is in LinkedIn, you will always see that there is a mentioned person who is responsible for that job description. Sometimes there is an email ID for that person's. If not, the LinkedIn profile is always available. What I always do is, whenever I apply for a current opening, I go to that person's profile. I send them a connection request with a small 200 character note that you can attach with the connection request. And I tell them that in very short words, this is Vibhore, coming from this background, saw an opportunity at a company, would like to connect. You won't imagine the success rate I got with this method, with this approach. And I gave a lot of interviews. I got a lot of interviews with this approach, because then the people know that you are really interested into their company and into that specific role. So it's a secret tip. Follow that, and you will really see the difference in terms of interviews that you are getting. And interestingly, maybe one more case study that I can share, which is kind of a mistake that a lot of people do. Even many of my friends used to do that, especially on LinkedIn. If you are a job seeker, you might know that there is an option of easy apply on LinkedIn, where in just one click or a couple of clicks, you can directly apply for a particular position at a company. And a lot of people, they see the heading, like the title of the job description. Let's say it's IT architecture, So they see easy apply, they are on their phone, they click, apply it, done. And they think that they have sent the application. So I recently came across a case study in which a company posted a job advertisement for an IT consultant. They got around 600 applicants in a period of 3 days. It's huge, 600 applications in a period of 3 days, and that company wanted somebody at an urgent basis. It would have taken so much effort to go through these 600 applications, but they filtered this 600 applications to 70 applications in 10 minutes. You might be shocked, like how did they do it? Interestingly, in the job description, somewhere at the very last, not exactly the last, but somewhere in the very last, they just mentioned a line which said that interesting candidates, please send your CV and your cover letter to this email ID. So the email ID was written.
Okay.
Easy apply, people didn't read that, they just clicked in easy apply and thought done. Only 70 people out of those 600 people sent their resumes and their cover letter to the company. Now you see, company saved time from checking 600 applications to just checking 70 applications, and that too the people who really read the job description, who really wanted that job. So always
At least they read till that.
exactly. So always make sure that you just don't apply anywhere. Always make sure you know, first of all, for which field you want to work for in the future. Then try to apply for that particular field and not just anything that pops up in front of you. I hear from a lot of students, that I applied for 500 companies and I didn't hear from them, or I'm just facing rejections and rejections. Yeah, I also faced rejections, but I applied for specific companies which were tailored to my role or for what I was looking for. And then the rejection rate is less as compared to the earlier scenario that I told you. So my advice, always read what's written in the job description, evaluate if it fits to your profile or not. If yes, then apply. Chances of getting an acceptance or for an interview would be very high. If not, then it will be a rejection. And there is one more thing in Germany which is called as vitamin B. And vitamin B is basically, in other countries you call it as referral. So that works really great in Germany. And if you know somebody who is working for a particular company, if they refer you for a particular position, it's a bit easier to get into the interview round. Because if my friend comes to me that, hey Vibhore, can you please refer me for this position, then I know that he is capable to work in the company I am working, because I know the culture of the company. I know the working style, I know the working pressure and stuff, and I can then be sure that my friend is capable, and I will then only forward the capable employees to my company. And that generates a trust in the mind of the employer that, okay, it's coming from our employee and he wants the good for the company. Right. So if you know people who are working in a particular organization and you find a good opportunity there, try to reach to the HR via this referral, via the vitamin B, and it will help you in increasing the success rate of getting interviews.
That's cool. My question is always like, if everybody is making, okay, now people know that, all right, my CV will be scanned only for hardly 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, then in the first glance itself, I should make something really attractive.
Yeah.
But if everyone started doing that, again, the screening process will be difficult, right?
Yeah, but to be honest, like today, the company use this ATS machine in which it automatically, you put the CV inside this software and it automatically
Scans it
and see the keywords if they are available or not. It's a good thing.
But
Trust me.
really,
Yeah, it's a good thing, because I told you, right, how people apply for jobs. And if someone is asking you German B2 and if you are having German B1, doesn't make sense to go for the interview.
Okay.
So it's a good thing also, a bad thing also, but 51-49, I'll say 51 is a good thing, 49 is a bad thing.
Yeah, few people think like, why should I elevate? Why should I give extra aesthetic impressions with my CV when I have written everything what I have done?
Yeah, because the companies don't have time to read all those things, because I've literally seen CVs of people who have made 4 to 5 page CVs, not because they have experience, because for one job they have written 15 lines about what they have done. No, companies are not interested. Companies are interested what's important that you have done in that company. Did Did you increase the revenue of the company? Did you improve the efficiency of the company, or did you do something that was really outstanding? Like normal job, everybody does. So that is the thing that is, but like my company, we thoroughly read the CV and stuff. But what we focus more on is the cultural fit. You know, like for example, I'll tell you, there was one guy, super guy, nice. He was doing nice things, but the culture fit was not there. I mean, like we have sympathy, empathy. That guy was very kind of rude, you know, kind of, I'll just do my work and nothing else. Yeah, it's not that we won't like a person like that, but we want someone who fits to our culture as well, and that's a lot of companies in Germany want that thing, the cultural fit.
If you come to some terms that we do something together, and you should constantly in communication, right? But somehow I feel like it is the duty of the management to ask me. Then I will report them. The
Yeah.
duty of them, but yeah, but even if you take the responsibility and proactive, and then you report to that management, then the chances are like you climb the ladder faster.
Yeah, true. 100% agree.
Yeah?
With that. Yeah.
But if you are like, yes, you have done your job and you're waiting till the management come to you, and of course, it's also a kind of your style, but that's a passive style of.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Yeah, I think, but for the companies, it's always advantage to get people like that who are proactive,
Proactive. Yeah.
who are behind managers,
Yeah, true.
who are behind their group leaders, whatever.
I mean, at my company, I constantly ask for feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I've done this task. You are free for some time. Let's talk over a cup of coffee that what could I have done better, or what did I do good. And I'm not looking for appreciation, but I'm looking to improve myself. That okay, this is a part which could have maybe taken less time, or the quality could have been better. So I myself seek for feedback. Our company has a good feedback system. They give feedback, but on top of that, I was proactively asking them that okay, can you tell me how can I improve? And literally, like I hear this from them a lot, that my curve has always been, learning curve has always been like that because of this asking for feedback thing and trying to not make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. So after listening to that, what it occurred to me is like, you, instead of waiting for the problem to come, you proactively learned all the skills and you always were proactive, beforehand, and you simply you kill the problems. That's what occurred to me.
Yeah, definitely. I am kind of a person who doesn't like to sit idle and do nothing. And that is why I always try to, increase my skill set. I try to look for problems. I try to challenge myself to be a better person compared to what I was yesterday. And that can only be done if one comes out of the comfort zone. And I always try to do that in terms of, not only working culture, but also personally. I always am on a path in which I can see improvement in myself day after day.
So, what the winters in Germany bothered you? You used to sit at home and spend time because of you couldn't go out or you didn't want to go out.
I am a very adaptable person. To me, the outside conditions don't influence my behavior. But yeah, it was a hard time.
You used to play a lot of cricket, right?
It's my first love. I still try whenever I get a chance to play cricket, and even in winters, the good thing about Germany is, even if the winters sound a lot of depression and night, cloudy sky, dark sky always, they always have something or the others running, because people might think that by hearing the word depressing winters that the conditions are very bad, but no. For example, you just mentioned cricket, right? In summers we used to play it outdoors, but in winters we have amazing indoor facility in every city where we can go and play cricket even in winters. And similarly, I always tried in winters, to talk with people, to engage in conversations with them so that I don't feel that loneliness or that depressing condition. It was a hard time in the starting to get adjusted, 4 o'clock, 4:30, the sun sets and it's dark. So in the starting days, it was a different atmosphere for me. But as I said, that I'm adaptable and I very, very easily am able to, figure out my way, and I try to do things in that particular time, which made me not think about the weather and focus on myself.
So, and then what are your future plans?
I want to solve problems always. What I love to do, as I told, right? So, taking on new challenges in my life, be it professionally, be it personally. If we specifically talk about my profession, so I want to still stay into consulting. I will be starting very soon a new job again in the consulting field, but in a different industry. So again, a different challenge for me in a different industry. But if I say, like, if I see myself in 10 years, I still see 6, 7 years out of those 10 years staying in the consulting field and, learning new things.
Networking.
Networking, making my skills go better, making my knowledge go even more widened compared to what I have today. And I really want to spread this word to the people that, hey, if I can do, anybody can do. Because I have seen a lot of people, they are, afraid to come out of those comfort zone or those thinking bubbles that they have built into their minds. So this is one thing that I always try to do. Even through my job, I get a lot of inquiries, for example, via LinkedIn from a lot of students who ask about their future plans and about the universities in Germany, about the professions that they can go into. So I love to solve them. I love to help them. So that is one thing in which maybe I can also, go deep into. But if we see on a very high level, then consulting is something I really love, and I would like to stick to it for a good period of time. And try out new challenges and grow myself.
Any message that you want to give to the upcoming students?
This is something that I always say. Try and come abroad once in your lifetime. Many people have this fear of, as I told, right, coming out of their comfort zone and thinking bubble. Break that. Even if you don't want to stay abroad, just come for 2 years, study, and go back. Because if you do that, you will see a drastic change in yourself. You will see that you have grown as a professional, as an individual person as well. And it will help you see life with a different perspective. It will change you completely. Other than that, don't be afraid of tackling rejections. This is something that you will always get in your life, professionally and personally. Be ready for it. See that as a method of growing. See that as a part of becoming better. If you fail at something and if you quit, then you can never be the person who would have been if you would have quit.
Yes.
So be open for things. Be always eager to learn new things. Be always eager to pass on your learnings to other people. Keeping it in your mind wouldn't help anybody. So try making your life a better place, and then try making your surroundings a better place.
That's a nice message. So with that, I wish you very all the best, and thank you very much once again for coming to my podcast and for your time.
It was my pleasure, Giri.
Thank you.